So swinging the golf club in this shape here, over and under, will do so much for your golf swing and get you in so many positions that you've been trying really hard to get into without you even trying. So that's saying over and under, what that refers to is ultimately the shaft movement and how the shape of the swing looks to create these good movements. So shallowing, rotation, all the good stuff we want will get created by this over and under. So the over portion is the backswing. This is the movement of the shaft going up to the top of the swing. So how it's moving, let's say over, but we can almost say it's moving steep in a more technical saying for the swing here. And the under is that club starting to pitch behind and shallow in the downswing. So you could also say steep to shallow, over to under. So just having that clear idea of what the shape of the golf swing would ideally look like if you want to have an easy time getting in good positions makes a huge difference, because viewing the golf swing in purely technical of an aspect is quite hard to be able to get these movements into your golf swing, because that then boils the swing down into positions, as we know, P1 through to P10. You know, there's a lot of positions you can try and nail. But a lot of these top players in the world, they're swinging in a way that has been natural to them for pretty much their whole entire golfing lives. A lot of them have their natural golf swing. And that is more than anything, they have a different concept of how the swing should be shaped to move ideally. So for us here, having this over feel and under, just feeling and thinking that, will create this really nice movement happen, and you start hitting positions. To where I say a lot of you on a daily basis, you do the opposite. Under and over. Now you can make that work. I know a lot of people that can make that work. There's a lot of tour players that can make that work, but it's quite hard for most golfers to do. Whip that club on the inside early and then have this big reaction of this over the top shaft and make that function. JB Holmes is one of the ones on PGA Tour who does that move. There's not really many others. So guys, there's ultimately two ways to work on this structure, and they both involve an alignment stick. So I'll show you, let's say, the more extreme way first, because it's more enjoyable to do. And that is having the alignment stick, gripping the alignment stick up the right-hand side of the shaft to where it starts to touch your right side. So you're going to notice some things that look undesirable straight away. You're going to notice how your hands are way behind the golf ball in this casting kind of position here. But just know when you do this drill, you're not going to ingrain that into your golf swing. So what this promotes now, this promotes probably the most extreme over and under swing there is. And this is Matthew Wolf's golf swing. Makes your swing look identical. So look here. Now, because I've got this here, I have to slide it down my side. You can see what does this do to the club. Really gets it out in front. And then as we start to move more up, the stick detaches from the side, has this very steep look, having it pointing behind with this stick at the top of the backswing, and you point it in front of the downswing as you turn. So you can see, if I do it one fluid motion, over and under. So again, over and under. So you can really get this stick then pointing back in front. Now, this is a good one to do if you really want to over-exaggerate it. I recommend everyone to over-exaggerate it, because let's say if you're an under and over, you'll hear them throw it over. This is going to be the one for you to be able to do to fix it quite fast. But I know a lot of you will think that looks way too funky. So what we want to do for the other one, the more one that looks a bit more sensible, is gripping it up the left-hand side of the shaft. So with the alignment stick, still that big bit coming out of here. But what we want to do, essentially the same thing. We want to have this stick slide down the side, slide down that left side. If we go under, detaches straight away. So having this stick slide down, want it pointing down towards the ground mid backswing, same place at the top of the backswing as the other one, pointing behind you, and then having it point in front, turning through. So over and under, over, under. Imagine repping that out. You could hit some balls doing it for sure, and you're going to get into your golf swing. So if you're going to hit balls doing this, one, you've got to know you're not going to hit the ball very far, because you have to stop it at the top, and you're more prioritizing what the shaft structure is doing. So this is more just to nail the general movement pattern. So here we go. I'll stop it at the top doing this, and then swing through. So having that under move. Now, I would recommend to start off with practice swings, because a lot of you who are casters and early releases, you're going to have one hell of a bruised side by doing this too soon. So nail it in the practice swing and then go into it. So if this was me wanting to get this into my golf swing, I'll do it the extreme side. I'll do it the Matthew Wolf side. And I'll do a bunch of those. So let's say I'll do 5, but I'm going to do 2 for the video speed's sake. And so it'll be over and under. Do that one more, over and under. Get that feeling. Now that I've done quite a few of those, I can feel like I'm going to do it already. So here we go. I'm just going to replicate the same feeling. And there we go. Didn't try to get in any of those good positions you just saw. You saw me shallowing it. You saw me rotating very nicely. Really good steep shaft at the top of the swing. Just moving great. But you can see how you can get those positions by just thinking of the general shape you want to make with the golf club going into the swing. The general route it takes through the whole golf swing can very much dictate the positions you get into. One thing I think we've always got to remember as golfers, especially golf coaches need to massively remember this as well, and that is the swings back in the day. Let's say Byron Nelson, for example, has an absolutely amazing golf swing. He's one of the most rotated players you would ever see going through the golf ball. I dare say they weren't trying to get in positions back then. They were just swinging the golf club athletically. So that's where a lot of the positions we strive to get into, we've just got from how the best players in the world throughout time have swung the golf club. And most of them that originated with those type of moves weren't trying to get in those moves in the first place. They were just moving, like we said, in a natural athletic way. So you can do that too, use a little bit more athleticism by using a little bit more of a visual imagery of what you want the club to do. You'll be surprised what you can do. So a lot of you that are struggling, give that a go. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button if you want more golf instruction, just like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. So over and under, and you're going to be playing a little bit better.